Kaboom!
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is Amit.
And Dominic.
Wow, that sounded a lot better than you sounded a second ago.
Yeah, I had the mic backwards.
Oh, we had the mic backwards. How's that possible?
Facing the wrong direction.
Oh my God! I'm like, yo, this is night and day. Wow. I would say that you called me that's surprising, but it's not. It is not. So yeah, a lot going on in the world these days, everybody. Obviously, with Eastern Europa, and Russia and stuff, but a lot of stuff going on here too as well. So it's just the world's falling apart.
Yeah.
But on this side, the world's falling apart because it's the religious right, and on that side, the world's falling apart because Putin wants more. Right, and this is not going to end good, by the way, obviously. But and I don't just mean for Ukraine. I mean for a lot of people. From gas, from supplies, whatever. Like, you have a lot of things you have on. There's a lot of things that the U.S. and other countries can do to sanction Russia, but Russia's got a pretty strong upper hand too, as it relates to just energy sourcing and energy supply to the entire damn continent of Europe.
Yeah, my understanding is we actually can. Well, this goes back into like oil and should we be doing this? Because I saw on your favorite station, Fox News, last night, them complaining like, see, this is why we should be dependent on oil and not get into this green foolishness because we import so much of it.
This is why we should be dependent? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Enlighten me in that.
They've always been against, certain people have always been against green energy, and we should have done the Keystone Pipeline, and we should disturb native land, and we should be dependent on fossil fuels and things of that nature because we can, but we don't. But a country like Russia is and does. So Fox News these pundits were saying, essentially, we should be like Russia. We should be like them. We could survive on our own, and which we could if we just did green energy. Again, there's no need to do this.
Well, that's my point. I don't understand it. Like, the logic is so flawed. You're trying to tell me that if I can create another fuel source that'll again give me independence, that I should stick with fossil fuels, which is a limited resource that
no,
will
we should
deplete?
but they're saying we're not even dependent enough on our own fossil fuels. We should be.
But again, the fossil fuels have a timeline. It's finite, even if you go down this route, right? Versus green energy, which theoretically does not. And that gives us independence anyway. This is a very foolish, backwards way of thinking. All right, at this point, let's just use coal. We've been doing coal forever. Like, I don't understand that logic doesn't make much sense to me. And I don't remember anybody ever saying we should be more like Russia as a positive thing in any scenario, unless we're talking ballerinas. But I don't know, or vodka. Like, I don't know why anybody, like, give me a scenario where it's like we should be more like Russia in a positive light. Anything. That's my point. That's just, wow, that makes no kind of sense. No kind of sense. Okay, all right. Foolishness abound continues, but that's what I would expect.
By the way, you mentioned Eastern Europe, right? I've always wondered, Russia's weird. Isn't Russia in both Europe and Asia?
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, the news has been saying Eastern Europe, which is why I said Eastern Europe, but to your point, prior to this, I would have said Asia.
But I believe it's both, which is kind of wild.
I didn't know how it breaks down.
So you see they okay, so Russia attacks. There's an island, I think it's called Snake Island. Mm-hmm. It's off the coast of I don't know where it is.
I was waiting for you to give me some latitude, longitude, or whatever. I'm assuming it's off the coast of Ukraine, my dude.
Yeah. So there's these 13 Ukrainian soldiers that are there. And a Russian warship comes up. At first, I thought there's no way this is fake news, because I first saw it on like Instagram and Twitter, but then it's all over the news now. This Russian warship is advising them to surrender and saying you need to put your weapons down and come out of surrender before we attack. And their response was, Russian warship, go bleep yourself, which is pretty badass. Sadly,
the
Russian warship said, okay, and destroyed the island, killed all 13 of them. But these 13 people are going down in like Ukrainian history as like, heroes. And I saw the Ukrainian president declared no male aged 18 through 60 is permitted to leave the country right now, in case they need to fight. One of the Klitschko brothers, you remember them, the professional fighters, heavyweight champions in the world? I didn't realize one of them has been mayor of the capital, which is Kiev, for 7 or 8 years now. And he's joining the fight and will physically fight, as his brother who came in. So it's wild. You listen to
weren't they in the government anyway, or one of them was in the government?
One of them's been the mayor.
That's what it was.
For like 8 years.
Right, yeah.
Oh, no, actually, I think, wasn't one of them like president?
I thought they're pretty high up.
A while
Yeah. They're pretty high up.
You're right. The Daily had the podcast had an episode last week talking about how like Ukrainians, they don't F around. Like these people will pick up arms, like random people, and go fight for their country, fight to the death. Like, it's just wild.
I mean,
then there's this controversy. I don't know if you've seen. There's Jamaican people stuck there, like students studying and things of that nature.
We have students studying in Ukraine.
Yeah, and people are complaining that the government, Jamaican government, won't
what?
Provide them flight home.
Are there planes leaving? Didn't they blow up the airport?
Yeah, no, they're saying go to the Polish border or go to this border or go here and then catch a flight, but they can't afford to come home. So there's people so then other people are saying like, what, the government has to pay for everything, but then the other side is saying, well, these are people trapped in a war, literally in a war, and they have no way to get home.
But has Jamaica
pay for them to get
home?
So
all right, it's weird when you say that to me because like obviously the U.S. you expect that, right? Because obviously U.S. got a lot more dollars, so you expect those kind of things.
But do you though? Because remember when we left Afghanistan, Biden kind of left people in there.
No, I said you expect. I didn't say it happens all the time. But the expectation. But my point is that you expected them to get everybody out. Did you not?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You say if you tell me the Jamaica's out, I'm like, hold up. Third world countries they're expected to do that too. Like I just don't think of it that way, just based on dollars and cents.
Right. Well, when you think about it, I have no basis for this, but there can't be many people there, so it's not like it's an exorbitant cost.
How the F do you end up in? I'm also just amazed that some Jamaicans like, you know what? Ukraine. Like, I mean, well, actually, everybody speaks English in Ukraine, generally speaking.
Do?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of English speakers.
Again,
the world is generally really good about English speaking. We are garbage at speaking their language. But almost everybody is doing the English thing pretty well.
And
almost.
In today's Who Knows, what's the national language of the United States of America?
I'm assuming it's a trick question, so I'm going to say I don't know.
The answer is there is none. Everyone assumes it's officially English. Speak English, go back to your country. There is none. Look up anything you want. There's never been declared a national language of the United States of America. So, when all these hillbilly country folks say, speak English, this is our country, go back. No, I can speak whatever the frig I want. Tried to learn Korean once. Failed. But I wish I did, because I could speak another language to them.
That's, wow, okay, I didn't know any of that stuff. I didn't know any of that stuff.
Fact check that, people. Try test me.
I mean, I don't think people care that much, but okay. Sure. Let's cause some ruckus.
By the way, can we get back to this?
I don't know.
Why do we collectively as a whole?
That's redundant.
I'll say, yeah. All right. Why do we collectively, and maybe not collectively, why does the government, why do we care about what's going on with Ukraine and Russia?
Hold up. Who's the we you're speaking about?
Yeah. First I meant society, but okay, even society. Let's break it down two things.
How many times do I want to tell you, man? We selfish, dog. We don't.
Okay. But, no.
Who's the we you're talking about?
Oh, you see all the
I would just
stand with Ukraine.
Yeah, everybody stands
with a Facebook banner.
Everybody stands with whatever. Yeah, that's cute. And they're doing what about standing with Ukraine? They went to the same coffee shop.
They're doing more with standing with Ukraine than standing with other places. My point is, okay, the government, why are we doing? Everybody's like, yeah, America's so great for doing this. Doing
what? I'm confused.
Doing what? Yeah, exactly. The sanctions. But even doing that,
yeah.
Why are we doing this? Because we see something we perceive as bad and we're stopping it?
Yes.
Bullshit. But that's bullshit.
No, but this is the perception.
Because we can't even stop the things in our own country. So you tell me and other countries where they're evil.
with you.
So why is this?
Because this is big, and it's somebody who we perceive to be bad. So whatever that person does against somebody else, this is the dynamic. Same concept would have happened had China gone and done something. Remember, China was doing this stuff with Taiwan.
Chinese Taipei, as they call it.
Pardon me. As who calls it? Which is what
it's China, so you don't have to pardon me.
Oh, I was like, okay. That's why I stopped. I was like, who calls it? But yeah, okay. So the same concept was there, right? So had China gone into Taiwan, you would have seen a similar dynamic, meaning the U.S. would have been posturing like they're trying to be better, et cetera, because China, because Russia. Now, if you're in African country X going after African country Y, you're not going to hear anything about it. I mean, it'll be on the news. It'll be like, whoa, this just happened and that's bad. And, our ambassadors are talking, but you wouldn't see anything to the scale, period. Right? Now, the other part of that, too, is Russia's it's a big situation. And they're also a nuclear power, which is, again, why you have a lot of this, right?
Yeah, but my understanding is they're not a significant. I was hearing this, I think, in the daily episode. Let me Google it.
They're not a significant nuclear power?
Yeah, like in terms of...
They got
like,
nukes, man. Period.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
I don't know how many nukes you need to... I mean, we got a bunch. They got a bunch. But they have enough to do some significant damage to us and other places in the world. Right? So...
Okay, I'm wrong. It must have been another country. They're significant.
They're pretty big. I think they're like number 2 against us.
Yeah.
Like it's us and then them.
All right. It was. I was comparing to size. It was China that's not significant in the grand scheme of things. All right, my bad.
Right, but again, so you've got India, China, Pakistan, Russia, and us that are nuclear powers that I'm aware of. Again,
France, UK.
France, UK got nukes?
Yep.
I guess it would make sense. Okay.
And your boy, North Korea.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but okay, his nukes can't go beyond he can barely. No, those don't count, dog. He's working on it. They're not there yet. Yeah, they're not there yet. Just like Iran, they're working on it, but they're not there yet. Point being, homie's got a lot of nukes. Homie's doing some stuff against a country which seems unwarranted, and egotistical, and that's why the situation's there. But again, it's not everybody. You got your boy Trump saying it's good, and saying that Putin's smart, and Putin's doing the right thing. And you've got a bunch of Republicans saying the same thing, right? And you've got other Republicans saying it's Biden's fault because had he not pulled out of Afghanistan, that wouldn't have given Putin the sense that the U.S. won't do anything, which I don't know what one has to do with the other, because again, the U.S. wouldn't do anything in either scenario until the very end, much like World War II. I mean, it's not like we're jumping into these scenarios. It's like, hey, let's go to war, people, right? Unless it affects our bottom line directly. And this does not. Ukraine does not affect our bottom line directly. Russia does not affect our bottom line directly, i.e. we're part of NATO, some other things there too, but this is, again, selfish. It doesn't matter. But that's my take on this. It's just, again, we're giving, and people are all over it now. One, because it's new as well. You got to realize that. Case in point, I had a friend of mine text me yesterday going, oh my God, wars. This is yesterday morning when I was in LA. Oh my God. I woke up this morning and we're at war. Russia's at war with Ukraine and Putin's doing nothing about it. Right? This was a text
or Biden?
Sorry. Biden's doing nothing about it. So I text woke up in the morning and I go, what do you mean? And he was like, and it was a woman and she was like, can you believe this is happening? And we're just sitting by and watching. And I was like, what would you like us to do? And there was no answer. And I go, what do you mean he's doing nothing? And he goes, a couple of the sanctions. And I was like, do you realize there's NATO involved as well? And the response was, what's NATO? To which I said, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. At least, I mean, come on, man. You can't just have an opinion like this. But this is the general populace, man. People see stuff on the news and they jump right into it. And I was like, dog, you have any idea of the background?
People are their thoughts are so misconstrued where they think that America is the bastion of justice around the world. Where A, not true. B, more often than not, and especially historically in the last couple hundred years, we've been the bad guy under the guise of being the good guy, right? And let's say magically now, 2022, America has decided we're just going to do good around the world. It's not America's job to do that.
That's the thing. People always say we should do stuff, and then I'm like, hey, who's paying for this war?
Who's paying for the war? Who's paying for the lives?
Nobody thinks about it. That's my point. Everybody jumps in.
Who's, and then we say, okay, but we're saving other lives. Fine, but there's a there's a cost, both
but
financially and
exactly.
the human toll to that.
And nobody here, nobody's strong word. The great majority, as I've always said, are selfish. And if you say it's going to cost you X, if we go to war, guess what? Your tax, everything's going to get more and more expensive because now we're truly utilizing stuff, right? Now we may have greater, and knowing that it's not like the Industrial Revolution or whatever, not revolution. It's not like we're doing a lot more building, construction, et cetera, internally because we take a lot of our parts from around the world that we can't get. So even if we were to try to say, hey, let's ramp up tank building, you know what I'm saying? We don't even have natural resources to do this stuff anymore. The whole world has changed that way. We can't just jump into a war. Right. And not only that, nor should we.
Fix your own house first.
Yeah. Okay. But that's always a game, man. Everybody says don't throw stones in a glass house.
How's that relevant to this?
No, it's the same concept, right? You're saying we should do stuff about it when your house. Is that not the right word? Is that the right phrasing? All right. Forget that one. I thought about it after I said it. No, is that what it is? If you live in a glass house, you shouldn't throw stones. That's what it is. If you live in that thing.
Yeah, but that means like don't disparage other people when like.
I think it can be. No, I think it can be attributed here.
I think we're both kind of off. I don't know.
I'm thinking about it now. Hold up, man. I think that's what this is. I think it's for this scenario, but I think I'm doing it wrong. On a side note, I called you this week and you didn't answer my phone call. I think I may have
Did you leave a voicemail?
Do I live in 2022? Do you not have missed calls in your phone?
Yeah, I don't. So here's the problem. Hold your thought for a sec.
You're technically deficient?
No. So I've been telling people now, I don't call you back unless you leave a voicemail, to which people complain who leaves voicemails, right? For one of my listings, a broker reached out to my client directly and told her, I've been trying to get in touch with Dominic. I've called him several times and texted him. He hasn't come back. Mind you, it was all the same day. And I come to find out she had called my office line several times, of which I get the calls on my phone, and texted the office number. So clearly I don't get the text. But I saw a number pop up several times. So I said to her, you called several times, but you didn't leave a voicemail. Her response was, who the hell leaves voicemails nowadays? And I said, how do you expect me to call you back? You think I'm just picking up the phone and just calling you if I don't know you? You got to admit, that's different.
That is different. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah.
I have your number saved.
Valid.
Well, for all I know, you butt dial me so much, it's ridiculous.
Whoa,
I don't know.
whoa,
pocket dialing. I don't know if it's, like at this point I can't pick it up. It just gets frustrating.
Whoa. First of all, Amit's never butt dialed. Literally never.
Except the WhatsApp group calls where you've randomly video called everybody.
That's different. But that point, I even say, oops, that's different. But I ain't never butt dialed you. And you didn't answer my phone, which is, and didn't call me back. Ain't like you're that busy either. You didn't call me back. You didn't answer. You didn't even text back, right? Versus when you call me a plethora of times.
No, missed call. If there's not a voicemail or a
I ain't
text,
your client, dog. It ain't a random ass number. No, this is me. It says Amit on your phone.
You called for, it says Puff.
It says Puff. It says fun, which is even more. That's even more. That's a closer friendship situation. There's even a nickname involved in that naming convention. By default, I deserve a call back.
All right, you called for what?
I think I had this plantar fasciitis business going on, and I know you had it, right? So here's what's going down. I'm at the gym in LA on Wednesday, and we're doing this workout, and it's got a bunch of dubs, right? So I do I think 450 dubs or something like that.
Those that
in like 15 minutes.
Those mean, skipping rope. The rope goes over and under your legs 2 times before you land. Every jump, double spin of the rope. Just telling people.
Thank you. No, that's fine. So I'm doing these dubs, yeah? 450 of them, I think it was, give or take, 430 something. Anyway, when I'm done, so as I'm going through it, my heel is starting to hurt a little bit, but I'm not jumping on my heel, obviously. I'm doing the ball of my foot. Go back to the hotel, shower, whatever. I want to say, I don't know, minutes later. No, let's say half an hour later, I try to get up and move. Bruh, my heel, I can't put any weight on this. I can barely tiptoe and walk around on my left foot. And I'm like, yo, what's going on here? So then I Google it, and I find out that it could be related to plantar fasciitis, which I know you had, which is why I was calling you. Because I was like, yo,
that seems like something important. You should text or voicemail after the call.
A call is all I need is a call back, and I would gladly have told you this. And so I was like, yo, what the F? So now I'm theragunning my bottom of my foot. I did the open WOD today, which has some box jumps. It wasn't that easy, but I'm working it out, trying to think, and I'm like, yo, this is ridiculous.
I'm not so sure you should be theragunning that.
I don't know what to do, which is why I was calling you. What do I do?
Your calf has to be completely stretched. You got to work on that.
So it's my calf versus the bottom of my foot?
Tight calf.
And it's the heel. This is where you felt the pain on yours too, or yours is the arch of your foot? Because my heel is jacked up.
Yeah, it was the arch and the heel. Yeah, you gotta. If it's plantar fasciitis,
I
before
mean,
it gets worse and you have to sleep in a boot.
I'm
like
not
a
doing the
giant
boot thing. Definitely not doing the boot thing. This is why That's why I was calling you to avoid the boot.
Yeah.
And again, you
gotta
didn't
stretch,
call anybody
you
back.
gotta do different calf stretches and keep that stretch like several times a day.
So the calf versus so don't do anything at the bottom of the foot. Do the calf.
Yeah, you could also make like take like a golf ball or something.
Yeah, like a little cross ball, roll on that.
Yeah, roll it on the bottom.
So why is the Theragun not doing the same thing then?
Because that's the pressure, boom, 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 boom. You know, I don't know if it's a bruise or if it's what's the other thing? One of them you want the Theragun and one of them you don't.
God damn it, man. So yeah, this is the old age situation I'm dealing with. And I was like, this is ridiculous. And I felt like you. I was like this. I feel like a gimp like you, and that's why I was calling you first. But you didn't call anybody back.
Speaking of old, Biden nominated a new Supreme Court judge. She actually looks younger than she is.
How old is she?
She's 51.
Huh.
Judge
Go ahead.
Ketanji Brown Jackson was nominated first Black Supreme Court nomination. He said he was going to do it. I know nothing about her.
Nope.
So I'm not happy, sad, annoyed. I literally can't make a judgment. I know nothing.
I got nothing there either.
Research.
I got nothing there.
Yeah, she's 50, 51. Definitely looks younger.
Yeah, I didn't think 51. I saw the picture too. It caught me a little bit off. You see that? You see the boy Ted Cruz called Jen Psaki Peppermint Patty?
Who's Jen?
The White House press secretary?
Oh, you think?
Are you serious?
You think I would know that? Honestly,
Yeah.
No.
Come on, man.
No.
Come on.
You put her.
Really?
She's kind of young. She looks young.
Yeah.
Maybe if I saw like 10 or 5 people in a lineup I could recognize. Yeah, I would have no idea what her name is.
Look, you remember Trump's press secretary?
I remember Spicer. The guy after I don't remember.
Yeah. No. There was a woman. There was a heavier set woman, and I forget her name now, but I knew her name at the time.
Yeah,
it was the worst. And I remember her name at the time.
I'm trying to sourpuss face. It just
yes, they just looked angry all the time. I don't blame her, but with that boss. But yeah, so I was like, dude, first I was thinking, how you can be calling people Peppermint Patty or doing anything like that in 2022, and this is not an issue? Like, I don't understand this whole dynamic nowadays, man. Right? So, and this goes into a different tangent. So one of the things we were talking about, Dominic and I were talking about earlier, was the Don't Say Gay bill here in Florida. You've got your boy Rick Scott with his situation out in Texas, where he's saying that the government is going to start investigating the parents of trans kids for child abuse. Right. And this bothers me to a significant level. One, because everybody talks about freedom. Well, take that back. A lot of people on the right talk about freedom, and all these things are impositions on your freedoms, i.e., women having children. You can't, whether by rape or otherwise, doesn't matter. You got to go through. I'm telling you to do with your body, but I want you to have freedom. But then don't wear a mask because that's too much. That's right. So there's this huge difference of opinions here that really throws me off a little bit, or difference of validation for freedom is or isn't, right? And the other part of that too is a lot of the stuff that the Republicans are pushing right now are very, very religious right. And as many of you know, I do not subscribe to religion, and I find it comedic that is the basis for many of these decisions. And what? You nod your head with
no, I'm gonna let you finish. It just made me think of something.
And so all these things are that way, right? So they don't say gay bill. So in essence, if it's one of these things where the especially in Florida and other school districts, you're saying that by allowing kids or by having kids, by having gay content or subject matter, et cetera, having kids exposed to that at a very young age is tantamount to child abuse. However, because we're indoctrinating them into this gay culture and gay vibe, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But on the flip side, you watch any cartoon that was created back in the day, and there's always a prince and princess or something like that, and that love dynamic, which is heterosexual. But that's not indoctrination. You feel me?
It's a good point.
Now, because that's in the Bible, so that's not indoctrination, by the way. But if it was two dudes, indoctrination. So for example, if there is a kid at school, and let's say that kid at school has 2 dads or 2 moms, and another kid at school goes to teacher and goes, "Hey, how come, little Toby over here has got 2 dads?" The teacher can't get into it at all, and saying you got to go talk to your parents about that because they can't even explore the subject matter. So in essence, we're saying don't talk about this whole group of people that lives over here, right? Because if you don't talk about it, you won't catch it or whatever. Like, it's the dumbest thing in the friggin' world, man.
Yeah.
No, that's what it is. This is the stupidity around this.
So it prevents normalizing it and keeps the stigma.
But it's all based on religion, which is what bothers me to no end. Because that is the dumbest rationale for any of this. Because some old dude back in the day wrote a book that you think is fact. And this fantasy book might as well go, okay, Lord of the Rings, follow that, make that your mantra of life. Like, what is wrong with you people? This is how foolish this is to me, obviously, that religion, which, by the way, has changed so many times over time and keeps changing, right? And didn't the Pope say the gays are okay, but now we can't do this? Like, I'm confused as to where Christianity falls in this dynamic. Like, I just don't know enough about, nor do I care, because it's all stupidity. So much so that we talked about last time where this one, I forgot, the baptisms that don't count because homie used the word we.
I found out afterwards it's thousands. We talked about a recent episode.
Yeah, where homie said we versus I or vice versa.
Or
yeah, he said we versus I.
Maybe it's an unreleased episode, but this priest in Arizona has performed thousands of baptisms which have been determined to be null, because he said, we baptize you in the name of the Lord instead of I baptize you in the name of the Lord.
And I want some random
much pressure. He resigned.
Yeah, and I want some random dude who did God knows what in his life to tell me that I can go to heaven. And I literally mean random dude. I mean somebody who's literally nobody in any scenario, right? Who somebody else said was cool enough to do this. Yeah, and I'm by the way, the plethora of preachers or priests or whatever who've probably given baptisms who are also pedophiles. I'm sure that's okay, by the way. Those have not been null and void. Because this guy said we versus I. You see the foolishness is what I'm saying, what religion is. This is our governing body is you use the wrong word. You can mess with kids all you want. I'm sorry, my bad. Well, that's fine. All those baptisms count.
Yeah.
Right? Go jump in the pool, man. You're fine. Like, if this is what you need some I'm sorry. I'm with you. Moving on. I can't.
So remember we spoke about this maybe a month or two ago about the indigenous kids in Canada where they found the graveyard at one of the schools, and then it turns out you start literally and figuratively digging more and digging deeper, and you're finding hundreds of graves across the country in these schools. So for I think it was like 120 years or something, in Canada they legally removed all indigenous kids from their families and put them in these schools.
Run by whom?
Run by the government, run by Catholic.
There you go.
Catholic
that's the
definitely
part.
Christian.
That's the point.
Religious, to take the savage out of the kids, right? And give them that Eurocentric mentality and
I would venture to guess
them.
That the amount of bad done to children for the past centuries was perpetrated based on religion.
Oh yeah.
Period.
Well, I was watching this special yesterday on 60 Minutes. And you talk about these people. The last school just closed. It was either 1996 or 1998. That's within, like, when we're in high school, and that's wild. So these people in their 50s, 60s, 70s crying on camera, talking about the physical and sexual abuse they endured by the priest fondling 8-year-old girls, by the nuns sexually abusing them, and then having to dig graves for their fellow students, quote unquote.
But
right?
don't say we. If you say we, the baptism would count.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue.
This is the stupidity. And this is who you're holding up as your moral high ground. You meaning the religious right. You meaning anybody who uses this as your crutch. Get over yourselves. This was a fantasy book. There are a plethora out there. Pick another one. Right? Because the other fantasy book we clown on, which is what Tom Cruise is the part of. And you clown on that all day long, and it's just as fantasy.
You know, and
L. Ron Hubbard is
point.
just as fantasy, man. Pick your poison,
Scientology
guys.
and everything, I used to clown on that. There's zero difference.
It's the same thing. It's as asinine a storyline. right? This is what bothers me about this. And some people, and the only difference is one, we have to deal with for a long period of time.
How do you feel? Okay, let's get deep in this, Amit Jagwani.
I was like, wow.
How do you feel about, so this religion goes across the board, more so culturally for you, whether it's I mean, you got to laugh at two things that kind of tie into your culture with Hinduism and multiple gods.
Mm-hmm.
And also, let's say Jamaica, Rasta looking at an actual human who was alive in the last century as God in Haile Selassie. You must have laughable thoughts about those two premises as well.
Both of them are ridiculous. But the difference is, so the Indian situation, a lot of past civilizations had multiple gods, period. Right? The Native Americans, Egyptians, there's a plethora of gods that did different things, right? The Greeks all the way through. We just maintained ours. And everybody else got, not everybody else, many other people got Christianity in there where they went one God because that was who the dominant force was, and they killed off the rest of them and converted things. So that changed the dynamic. We just maintained ours.
Two of the three largest religions in the world is one God.
Yeah, but hold up.
Islam and Christianity.
True, but a lot of that was, but the Christianity part was a lot of genocide that made it to the top religion, right? And a lot of conversion. So I'm not giving them any props that way, right? If I kill off the rest, then by all means, my bad, I'll believe the one God dynamic because I killed off everybody else, right? And that's how Christianity became Christianity. You just kill everybody else off, and by default, you guys all subscribe to it, right? Hinduism, they maintained theirs, right? For whatever reason, we as a culture were able to maintain it. And the multiple God thing is, again, as asinine as having one God. The only difference was you would feel you had to appease all these different gods to achieve different things. By the way, and all these things that people wanted to achieve were for personal benefit, where I want wealth, where I want crops so I can feed, or I want this, where I want that. All selfish stuff.
So
right?
What made you change your thoughts on religion? And me too, because I'm one in the same, because we both did. Do you think we would have changed if we grew up in a different time? Was it the advent of technology and the internet?
I don't think it's the internet. I think it was
thought.
No, I mean, it wasn't like I did some
our 20s.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I did some crazy research to realize that, oh my God, like on the interwebs, it was just, and I don't know how the epiphany happened, but it wasn't internet based. It was just.
No, I mean, I used to rock
became
a cross.
more logical.
You know me, I used to rock iced out diamond crosses. You know.
Yeah, because that was religious in nature.
Hold on. And when episode 5, if you haven't checked it out, our incident in Miami Beach, Puff bailing me out of jail, me getting beat up by the police.
Your mom bailed you out of jail. That wasn't my money.
Right,
I was
calling
there.
my mom in Jamaica to fly up and bail me out of jail. Police beating me up in a racial incident. Episode 5, check it out. It kind of enlightened us as to everything going on. We were very ignorant 20 years ago or so, 21 years ago.
Still are.
I remember in jail kissing my cross, like shaking, nervous, and like kissing my cross, like help me God.
It was.
I remember you used to always
in the car.
Sai Baba in the car. You had a picture.
Yeah.
And he's not even a god. He was more
he's
like a.
He's like the Pope in essence.
Okay, and you had a picture in your car, and every time you would start your car, you would touch him and then like kiss your finger or the.
I don't even know what it was. Something like to that effect. Yeah,
we're in the same thing.
Yeah, no,
and that was in our 20s. So when did? I'm trying to think how that changed.
I don't know how I became so anti-religion. Not anti-religion. How I literally just started realizing the foolishness that is religion. And I don't know what spawned the epiphany. But when it happened and I started looking more and more into it and started doing whatever else, I was like, this is just comedic now.
I'll clarify this because we both we both have moms who are very religious, right? And probably deep down, I don't know, my mom's never mentioned, probably deep down they wish we were. But they're both very religious. And the one thing I can understand about religion is for those that find comfort in it, in the utopian sense of it. Not when you deep down into the massacres and the hypocrisy and the violence and the judgment upon others who aren't in a particular religion. None of that stuff. Yeah,
or sexuality.
Yeah. That's all crap, right? But it's just like people finding anything where, you know, you can find community in your gym. You can find community in people from work. Like the religion aspect of it can bring a sense of peace to some people. I get that. But when you start tearing the layers away and digging deeper, yeah, it's just wild.
But it's all fear-based.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Right? When you're in jail going, please let me get out, because you're scared.
Yeah.
right? When I'm in the car doing this, I don't want to get in an accident. It's all fear-based. It's not like, you know what, this is a great morning. Thank you, God. No, it's all fear-based, right? And the whole dynamic, it literally says there's a whole, what is it? Oh my God, there's a phrase that literally calls just to that. Just showing how this is all fear-based and foolish. But either way, I don't want to go down this path anymore. I've done this ad nauseum. You guys know. I think it's comedic and foolish, but we'll move on.
Was that a good analogy? Sai Baba is like the
I don't know. He's like a pope. Somebody called me out on that. Prem called me out on that. Is it not? He's a real person who we look to, but he speaks on behalf of God. Yeah. So that's a similar dynamic. Give me something else.
I don't know.
He's not your average. He's not your average dude at a church. Your average priest or whatever. He's somebody who's got a following of his own.
There's a word I'm missing, but it's not like
the Messiah is the word you're looking for.
No, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I think
it's a good analogy because people go to see the Pope, knowing the Pope is not God, but he speaks to God is the reference point. Yeah. People go to see Sai Baba for the same dynamic, or went to see him when he was alive for the same dynamic.
Yeah.
Right? And he'd perform blessings, which the Pope does as well. The same kind of dynamic, I believe. So, on a lighter note, that's not a lighter note. Dominic and I were talking about this before because we're coming up on time here. Dating in 2022 is a garbage scenario.
I'd crush it.
You wouldn't crush. You didn't crush it when dating was the internet was around too then. But were there apps? No, there were no apps back then. When you were in this world, it is a rough space out there, man. I have no idea what I'm doing. These apps are just straight trash. It is, man. The amount of awkward. I never thought I'd do awkward dates in my 40s, and I'm doing awkward dates right now, and they are all awkward. And by all, I mean two, and by two, awkward, I mean with the same person. Just every part of it, man. The conversation, everything about it is just strange. I don't.
How is that different than at any other age?
Well, the difference was the past situations where I would have met this person via a common, whether it be at the gym, something to that effect, or a friend or something to that level. The dating game, you're literally going in, you're doing an interview every time, and you are asking the same interview questions, and you have your canned responses, and so you're never really yourself. Period. Neither party is, and you're kind of just putting this out there, and you're like, hey, this is going to be great, but you have it's just rough, man. It's and I don't know which end. A lot of catfishing, by the way, going on out there. I think I mentioned this in previous situations. You mentioned this to me, like a lot of catfishing.
Research,
bro. I'll see the situation. I've seen multiple things with the same woman pictures with different names. I'm like, I know you now, right? And immediately, if I like somebody and they respond immediately, depending on how they respond to their answers, if I hear some broken English situation, and I live in Miami, so that's kind of different. I'll have to gauge whether or not this is a bot. Or somebody catfished me,
or it's just somebody their second language.
Yes,
yeah,
man, it's too much work, dog. I'm telling you, I'm doing a lot of different thoughts.
But hold on, are there actual? It's okay. There's different catfishing. Yeah, you could have somebody who's a lot older, larger, even lying about their
gender. It could be everything. Yeah, or trying to steal shit from me.
Is there actual bots on these apps too? What's their purpose?
I don't know. I use the word. I just use the word bot. I don't know if that was the appropriate term because I don't know the answer. I assume they were people trying to get stuff, man. You saw Tinder Twindler, people trying to get money from people, I assume.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, then when you see it, you'll understand. Like, I was talking to this, I think I was telling you, talking to this woman, quote unquote, because again, I don't know who it was on the other end of this, right? Amazingly attractive, which also threw me off because I was like, she's probably not looking for me, but either way. And she goes, we're shooting the shit about something like very superficial. And then she goes, do you want to take this conversation over to Instagram or something like that? Right? To which I find kind of benign. So I'm like, yeah, that's no worries because I'll probably check that more than I'm going to check the app anyway. And we're going back and forth. We're talking a little bit. I'm like, hold up. Do you want to do like a FaceTime or something real quick so you know that I am who I am and vice versa? And she was like, no, I don't like doing FaceTime stuff and whatever. And I was like, she goes, I'm in the car right now and so on. I was like, well, I'm hoping you're not driving while texting me in the first place. You probably don't want to do that as well. And I was like, well, when you're done driving. And she was like, and I'm saying she again, she was like, no, my dad had a bad accident while on the phone or whatever in a FaceTime situation. So it hurts. It hits me in a weird way. So I don't like doing it. And I was like, again, I'm telling you not to FaceTime me while driving. But when you are stationary and or a different location,
or is she
and
claiming that using FaceTime
it was there, and I was like, we're good, right? Because I mean, this is it. And then, by the way, like I mentioned, I saw her pictures on another person's name later on or whatever, so that's obviously not a real profile. But there's all these kind of dumb things. One other girl was like, hey, let's switch over to WhatsApp real quick, and I was like, how about I just said hi to you. Like, I have no idea. We need to transition to different mediums. We need my phone number now because I don't know you.
Huh.
Bro, it's a weird world out there, man. I don't know who's looking for what or whatever else. And a lot of these could be and it could be me being oversensitive. I don't know. I'm just new to the space and ignorant and scared. Right? And I need to make sure before I go on some date that you are who you say you are. So I almost mandate / require some kind of quick FaceTime situation. I'm telling you, man. Because I'm not showing up and you're not who you say you are, dog. That's just, man, wasting my time too. Are you? Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just saying it's a rough world out there.
Godspeed. Good luck. Have fun. Enjoy.
Enjoy, he says.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want.
What are you looking for?
What? What do you mean?
What are you looking for in a companion?
I feel like I'm on one of these dates now. When I'm walking into, longevity. How's that?
Interesting response.
Right? Like
ironically, that's what your past girlfriends have been looking for you in bed. Kaboom!
Wow, that's a long way to get to that joke, Doug. That's a very long way to get to that bad joke as well. No, it's just that kind of thing, you know. All the stuff that you're supposed to want, you know, the companionship to this, all the key buzzwords, you know. All
right, eat better. Pray for Amit to find a companion.
I thought you were gonna say pray for Ukraine, and I was gonna throw something at you.
A real companion, an actual person, who is who she says she is.
Yeah. A lot of caveats.
You know what you can do? Can you do like these apps, or you can set up? You should go on a double date with you and Gopes.
He's actually coming up. He's supposed to come up next week. So he texted me today to let me know that he's coming to my house as opposed to ask. But either way,
Last thing is, he sent a shredder to my house. It's been sitting outside my door for 5 days now, and I'm telling him if he doesn't return it, it's going in the garbage.
Hold up, what do you mean outside your door? Meaning outside your house? You haven't brought
Amazon
it in?
delivered it. I told him I'm minimizing. I don't need crap in my house, so it's sitting out there. So either someone's gonna steal it, hopefully, or it's going in the garbage. He says, no. Then give it to Puff. I said, I haven't seen Puff in a long time. How am I gonna give it to Puff? He says, you can't return it. The guy goes, it's on back order. I said, return it and order it to Puff's house.
Why are you ordering it to my house?
Because he's coming up.
When did you get?
He said it's on back order. I went on Amazon. I screenshot. I saw 37 shredders that are available now on Amazon.
Instead, why does he need a shredder? He doesn't even write anything.
He thinks his financial documents coming to my house need to be shredded.
Oh, so that's why he's got it for you. It doesn't have to come here. He wants you to own it to shred the documents.
Now he's like, he'll take it home to Jamaica. That's why he needs it with you.
There's no logic. I'm confused. But I've seen us.
Or just rip it with your hands. So, I don't know.
And hold on, what's he getting paper? Get us up digitally. What's wrong with you? That's the solution. Get your financial documents digitally. He still goes
in line to the bank to pay his light bill and stuff like that.
That's on him. Oh no, ain't no shredder coming to my house. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
Come on, be better than that. No, I don't have. Look, I live in a clutter-free environment, dog. You know this. I don't like anything extra.
Hold on. He's what? Good, Prem. We have comments on our Facebook Live for this. Speaking of shredder, he said, "Why not get a goat? They eat paper."
See, they're abundance in Jamaica. They're already there. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a smarter play. Well played. That's a smarter play.
All right. Eat better, people. Eat better.
Not better people. Eat better, people.
Yes, commas and grammar matters.
Yes, exactly. I don't know why you're promoting cannibalism, but okay.
Yeah. Eat better. Be healthy. Eat properly. Moderation.
Says
for all the junk and crap.
Yes. You with moderation. That's
I've been pretty good.
Are you fitnessing?
Yeah, so I was at the doctor. I'm at my 3rd ortho now, and I'm about to go to the 4th one to try to solve this stuff. Going to go to the heat team doctor. I was at the 3rd one yesterday. So I got cortisone shot a month ago. I got hydrochloric acid put in my knee yesterday and draining some more cc's of
What is
fluid out
wrong
of
with
the
you,
knee.
man?
And he's like, so have you been exercising? I said, well, here's the thing, doc.
He couldn't tell by looking at you?
Yeah, I've gained a lot of weight. He's probably like, yo, have you been? I go,
It's one of those rhetorical questions. He knew the answer. He's like, I gotta ask because I'm a doctor.
I said, it's twofold. Because of my knee, I said, I literally cannot. I can't even get up and walk to like the post office, to the mailbox outside my house without tremendous pain. I go, that being said, it's also laziness because there's a lot of things I could still be doing, you know. Some core stuff, push-ups, just basic stuff I could easily be doing. Like, shout out to your boy. What's his tag on Instagram? Forzag Fitness? What is it?
Yeah, Forzag Fitness.
I
Matt
don't
Forzag.
think it is.
Yeah, it's Forzag.
Anyway,
Right
he
now.
has, he's a good follow on Instagram. I've never met him, but it's Amit's boy that has good stuff you can do at home, man. 15-minute stuff, 10-minute stuff just to move. You know, you don't even need.
Oh, it's just Forzag. Forzag.
Yeah, at Forzag. F is in Frank, ORZ is in zebra,
Yeah.
AG is in Greg.
Yeah.
I
And
have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me? Follow him for fitness stuff. Yeah, move, people, move.
Don't be like Dominic.
Don't be like me.
There you go.
All right, eat better.
There you
Follow us, Instagram, YouTube. Check out the site.
All over the places. Take it easy, everybody.
Cool.
Oh crap, wrong button.